Hey all, my name is Kurt. This is Trenton. Welcome back to SLB Basement Bourbon Bar. Today, Trenton, we are finally going to do a show that I've been working on for a minimum of 2 years. I'm sure of it.
No, I'm trying to think when I first saw that one of these things come down here, I was like, what on earth are we going to be doing with this? And I thought he had all of them, but apparently he didn't. This is something I know nothing about.
Well, we're going to be discussing some Kirkland whiskey. And the problem is, Trenton, is I don't get to Costco.
Kirkland's Signature, which is Costco's private label.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't get to Costco that often, for one. For another, they always don't, they don't have everything in stock every time that you go.
Yeah.
It comes, it goes, it's there, it's not.
I feel like with Costco, it's one of those things. Yeah, we have a Costco that's 45 minutes away. Right. So it's not just like right down the street. And I feel like when you go to Costco, you kind of have to plan your day around it, because it's not just you don't ever just make a quick trip in.
Yeah.
The last time I went to Costco, I was like, yeah, we're probably just going to get a rotisserie chicken and toilet paper and like all the essentials that people
big
get.
Monster.
Heck yeah. Yeah, the 96 pack of toilet paper.
Right.
But I was like, yeah, we're going to spend $100. It was $500.
It's just.
And I don't even know. I honestly couldn't even tell you what I bought. Just passing stuff. And I didn't even try samples. They should do samples of this at Costco. Really.
They should. I don't know what they're expecting. Well, guys, today we're going to be discussing Kirkland brand Scotch whiskey. And the main reason that I wanted to do this, Trent, is because it is extremely cost efficient.
I do know that.
Extremely cost efficient. So the first one that we are going to taste.
That is a Chungus.
That's a 1.75.
Dude, that's freaking heavy.
It is. Glass is thick. It's a 1.75, a blended Scotch whiskey. Guys, I've seen this down to like $25.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like $25, $30, somewhere in that general range. Trent, I got the glass all on here. It starts on this side, and they're both together.
Okay.
As we go down. So this is the blended Scotch whiskey.
Okay.
Not much to say about this. It's 80 proof. It's all been sourced by, what does that say, Trent?
Alexander Murray, which I learned. Paul called me the other day, and he was talking about Alexander Murray, and apparently they're a big deal.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that, because I think they only do Scotch and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
So I'm oblivious when it comes to Scotch.
Alexander Murray sourced all of the whiskey for Kirkland on the Scotch. So it's 80 proof. I don't know. I found where it was aged maybe 3 years, maybe 4 tops.
Okay.
So,
but for $26 for a 1.75 liter,
that's what
I'm saying.
Really, $25 to $30. So that's what I'm saying.
So I'm gonna ask a dumb question here. When it says bottled for Alexander Murray, is there an equivalent of this? Like how Costco, if you go, you get Costco batteries. It's like that, or like Duracell is the comparison. Is there a comparison for this that you know of? Okay, so it's just like it's their own. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It kind of smells like guacamole.
It's weird. I was almost going to say like the regular Listerine, not the minty ones.
Holy, you're coming out of the gate with some notes.
That's old school, baby. That's the one my dad used to have on the shelf. That's old school, not the minty stuff like we have now, like the old time Listerine.
Wow,
that's kind of what it smells like.
I don't know. The first time I ever had mouthwash, I thought you were supposed to swallow it when I was a kid.
Oh, dude.
And I think there's actually alcohol in that, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so I was probably 5. I had been dipping in the Listerine a little too much. Maybe that's what's wrong with me. I don't know.
It's very possible. Got you started down the wrong road, that's for sure.
I mean, it looked like Gatorade. Why am I not going to swallow it? Now, this is not... it says lightly peated finish. Okay. I was going to say, because I feel like I get a little bit of the peat in there. Do you, since you're not as sensitive to it, do you get a little...
You know what? If you wouldn't have said that, I don't know if I would have.
Okay.
To be quite honest with you. I don't really... When I'm sipping any kind of Scotch whiskey, I never do concentrate whether I get the peat or don't get the peat. But now that you say that, they're in the back end. There's a little bit of a sense of some peat in there. It's just okay, guys, honestly. Nothing to write home about. Probably as good as some of your lower level budget blends. Mm-hmm. Grants, is one I can think of. Something like that. But if that's your style, if that's what you like, if that's what you go to, since it's a cheaper option, and more than not, you can't beat that. You can't beat that price.
This really reminds me of gym class in middle school because it's like kind of sweaty and it smells like a track.
Yeah.
Like a rubber track outside.
Sure.
Are you just agreeing?
Sure. No, I get it because it's definitely not my favorite, guys. It really isn't.
I mean, $26, 1.75. That's like $12 for a 7 or 750.
Yeah.
I'm not mad about that.
Again, I don't hate it. Let's put it that way. I absolutely don't hate it, but I absolutely don't love it either. So.
Okay.
All right.
Let's
go to the next one, pal. It's another one, man. I think I might slide this one. I don't know.
You're gonna really just scroll. Well, this is already pretty scraped up.
Look at this bad boy. Whoa. Another 1.75. This is their 12-year blended Scotch whiskey.
I just gotta know why it's this freaking big. I mean, I get it. It's Costco. Oh, it's imported from Dallas. Everything's big. Mesa imports Dallas, Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas.
Well, sure.
So that makes a little bit more sense.
Got to. Another one that's 80 proof here. This one, Trenton, is about $35. So
it smells pretty good.
Roughly about $35.
Is this also a peated? Does it say anything about a smoky peat prevail on the nose and palate before a long, smooth finish? Okay. I did get just like a slight hint of a peat in there, but it's actually smells more like fruity and
yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Like dark fruit, not pitted fruits, but stone fruit. Pitted fruits, yeah, stone fruits.
Sure.
I like
it does. It does have some good fruit notes in there for sure.
80 proof.
Yeah.
Sorry if you already said the proof. Yeah. Well, how much was this?
About $35. Wow. Give or take.
Was this at our Costco?
These two I bought at our Costco.
Okay.
These are the first ones that I got probably 2 years ago.
I remember these sitting in the corner in the office.
Yeah, I just couldn't find any of the older age Scotch from Kirkland.
Oh, that's peated. I'm not gonna lie to you. I prefer this one over this one.
Both about the same for me.
It's just with something at this price point, I feel like the peat, since there's not a whole lot of flavor, it's like if you added more peat to this one, since there's not a whole lot of flavor to begin with, when you put peat in there, it's just like, it smells really good.
Yeah.
But the peat just overtakes all of it. Like there's actually no flavor development, I feel like.
I'm trying to think in my head and different bottles that I can relate to this one. For me, I would rather sip on a Dewar's 12-year, another, budget type bottle. I would rather have that. I'd rather have a monkey shoulder.
I do like monkey shoulder.
I'd rather have that.
Yeah, that's a good bottle for 30 some bucks.
I think honestly, some of that peat might be hurting this.
I think it is.
And I like a little bit, but this being on the cheaper side, the cheaper liquid, I think by adding the peat influence, it doesn't really balance out very well.
Yeah, it's not my favorite. My least favorite so far.
But hey, if you like it, boy, I tell you what, that's one heck of a deal. All right, buddy, let's get into something with a little bit more age. I did find this one also, Trenton, at our Costco.
Oh, okay.
This is the 15-year Highland single malt Scotch whiskey sherry cask finish. So I did read here on the back yesterday, 15-year-old Highland single malt Scotch, aged in ex-bourbon barrels, then finished for 9 months in Oloroso sherry casks. Now, another thing I failed to mention too, Trenton, this one makes sure to state that it was aged in ex-bourbon barrels, right? These two over here, I think were, from what I found, and please correct me if I'm wrong as usual, but what I found, they were just aged in new American oak casks.
Okay.
So I don't think there was any ex-bourbon influence on these either, the first two over here. So this one here, let me look at my notes. It's around $55. What I do like about it, Trenton, is that the proof is amped up just a touch to that 92 proof, which I really enjoy with Scotch whiskey.
Yeah.
So I do like that part.
What is, like, when I see Highland single malt Scotch whiskey, I assume they put Highland there for a reason. I know that's a region, but is it like...
It just meant that this single malt Scotch comes from the Highland region.
Is there anything like special about the Highland region?
Usually, well, no, there's...
Sorry, I put you on the spot.
No, I mean, let's put it this way. Those that drink Scotch whiskey, I'm sure you have your certain regions that are your favorites. Right?
Okay.
And I would assume, for the most part, your favorites would be Highland and Speyside, because primarily a lot of those are non-peated. You know, I do know there's some in the Highlands that are peated, and you know, but Speyside especially, you know, a lot of the stuff is not peated, but
Okay.
but it's just an area. It's just an area.
Okay.
You know, a region.
Similar like wine regions and stuff.
Sure.
I'd imagine. Okay.
Sure.
It smells so much like anise,
Does it now?
like black licorice. I get a lot of that on this one.
I get more of the red vine licorice type.
See, I bought
There's some dark fruit in here.
I
that
bought
really
some of
like.
that a couple weeks
you?
ago because I was curious because I remember I was talking about it before. I remember trying it in health class once because I got a question right, surprisingly enough. So I got a red vine. Immediately as I tried one, I was like, "What the heck is this? It tastes like plastic." But I tried it the week ago and I didn't mind it too much.
All right.
I didn't go through the whole bag, but
All right. Why?
and I'd rather have the Twizzlers with the cherry and the lemon filling in it.
Oh well, hey,
Forget
come
about
on
it.
now.
You can't beat that.
Come on. I mean, I like it. Straightforward. Got a little biscuity notes in there, but it's got a really nice dark fruits.
I might be warming up to Scotch just a smidge, non-peated. But I guess I've kind of been diving more into single malts a little bit more recently.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I see Scotch, though, I'm like, I'm not informed enough to know like right off the bat if something's going to be peated or not. And I usually don't read, so
Well,
that doesn't help either.
That's a problem. That could be a problem. I like this, man. This is really good. I wouldn't put it on the level of some of my favorite sherry bombs, like the Glenallachie 12-year. I wouldn't put it on that level.
Glenallechy's far
You know, we're back to a 750 here, 750 ml. The Glenallachie is going to be 60 to 70 bucks. This is 50, 55 bucks.
Okay.
So a little bit cheaper, plus a few more years of age. But I think it's excellent. I really do, especially for the price. For 50, 55 bucks for a 15-year single malt. It's got a nice flavor to it. It's got those red fruits in there. It's good.
I like it quite a bit. I will say I would rather have a Glenallachie or something else compared to this. But if I was in a pinch and I was at a Costco and I saw this, and I was like, man. And I also don't usually Jones for a Scotch usually.
Yeah.
Very rarely do I do. Or,
Yeah,
or a
sometimes
single
I do.
malt.
When
Yeah.
I'm sitting around here.
But I gotta say, this is pretty. How much
Yeah.
was that?
50, 55 bucks. Something
92
like that.
proof.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I'm sure things vary. Let us know in the comments what you all pay. I'm sure some of you have these bottles from Costco, and if you pay a little less or possibly a little more, let me know. I try to be conservative with the numbers. I didn't want to go super low. And so, last but not least, I did not purchase this one. This was brought to us by our good friend Dave.
Oh, okay.
So he knew that I was hurt, and I wanted to find one more bottle, aged bottle at least, of the Kirkland Scotch whiskey, and he found this 17-year Speyside single malt Scotch whiskey, also sherry cask finish, Trenton. Similar as this in here, it's a finish.
Okay.
So you have the 17-year Scotch, and then they switch it over to the Oloroso for the finish. So this is aged in ex-bourbon and finished in Oloroso sherry cask for 9 months. So similar time frames, just 2 more years of age on this one. Unfortunately, that's the last one I have, guys. I could not. There is like a 20-year and a 22-year. You know Kent's friend
really?
Kevin?
Yes, I know.
He had the 22-year, and he said it was fantastic.
Well, why the heck? Come on, Kevin.
And he's pretty much a whiskey connoisseur, I would say. And if he says it's that good, it probably is very good. But I waited 2 years just to do this show. I'm not going to wait longer for a 20 and 22 year. So let's check out this 17-year trend and see what we got. This one here is roughly about 60 bucks.
Okay. I'm still getting more of that, like a little bit. It's not as licoricey or anisey, anisey, whatever is this one, but I still get a little hint of it there.
Yeah, it's probably the malt coming through for you.
It's like you open a fresh box of Juji fruits, and it's
Yeah.
got this like. I just bought some paper to put down in the basement as we're getting some work done, and the paper smelled like just terrible. I don't know what the heck was up with that. It was like it smelled like it was wet. This kind of smells like that. Not as bad, but it's got this like dampness.
This one here, I can get a little bit of that prunes and fig that you're looking for at times, you know, with a good aged single malt Scotch whiskey.
Dude, I freaking love prunes now. I got this big old bag from Costco, and is when I used to hear prune, I thought just prune juice, and I thought that made you go to the bathroom when you needed some assistance and you didn't want to go the laxative route. But no, I do like prune, like dried prunes quite a bit. I eat them a couple every day usually around breakfast time with my coffee.
I really like that one quite a bit, to tell you the truth. That one there, the extra 2 years of aging on this one really developed into more complex of a sip, for sure. That finish, the Oloroso finish, is there, but it complements the whiskey. This one here, it seems like that the finish kind of takes over the whiskey a little bit on this one. Still good, but this one seems to have a lot more going on in the glass.
And none of these two right here, I don't dislike them. Mm-hmm. It's just when I drink them, I feel like I'm searching for something a little bit more, and that's probably because I drink stuff that's a little bit higher proof usually, and like bourbons, ryes that usually are maybe a little bit more sweet and have a little bit more of a varying kind of a profile.
Right.
And now I'm messing myself up because when I think of single malt, I think of like a Westward, or like even now that what's that big airship, Zeppelin.
Oh, that was New Holland.
The New Holland one.
Yes.
Those are just so like dynamic and rich
and
stuff. And
they're bold and robust. You know, this is more of a delicate type sip. I mean, there is definitely some full flavor in some of these here.
Yeah.
You need a little bit with the red fruits, and then, like I said, with the figs and prunes, especially in this one. These over here were more of the one-noter types. Yeah. You know, not a whole lot going on. Not bad, not great, excellent price.
And I wish I was at the point in my Scotch journey that I could really sit down with this and appreciate it. Mm-hmm. I could drink this, but it'd be one of those things where I'm drinking it to drink it because it's halfway decent. I can't pull out like a ton of different stuff from it enough to say, hey, I'm gonna go out and buy this for my collection at home because I like it.
You know, I think what these bottles in general will do for you, if you're interested in them, and if Scotch whiskey is something that you drink on occasion, rather than breaking out your $150 bottle of aged single malt, you know, you can break out one of these and still get a really nice sip.
Yeah.
And save that $150 bottle and bring it out a lot more sparingly.
Yeah.
You know, and you're going to save quite a few nickels by doing that. And to me, especially these two, they're very good substitutes for some good single malt whiskey.
For this, I think you said it was Dewar's or Monkey Shoulder or something.
No, I don't even know what to say about that one. To tell you the truth, that was Listerine, and I don't know. I'm like a lower level blend, like a Grant's.
Okay.
I think I can really think of, you know, some of the low bottom shelf blend. So for this one here is what I said. You know, to me, I'd prefer to have like a Dewar's 12 or a Monkey Shoulder, something like that.
Is there anything like with these that you could?
Well, like this one for sure, it kind of reminded me of the Glen Alecky. It reminded me of that. See, that's a good example. You know, the Glen Alecky has, you know, all kinds of age expressions. They got the 12 year, the 15 year, whatever. If you have one of those at home, and I suggest it because they're fantastic. You know, even the Glen Alecky 12 year is about $70 by now, I'm sure. So if you get this one, which is $50 or $55, you know, you could kind of break this out more often and save that one.
Yeah.
You know, for special sips and things like that. This one here, honestly, is almost, and I'm going to say almost, reminiscent of a Macallan, the 12 year, you know, the sherry.
Okay.
Macallan is, I've got a few, but I'm not sure that I'll replenish those few. It's not really my favorite line of Scotch whiskey, but it kind of leans towards, gives me a little bit of those vibes.
Okay.
But for a lot less money.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, if you are like a Scotch drinker, or maybe you're not a Scotch drinker and you've tried these before, I'd be curious to see what you think of them, or even honestly, if you buy these on the regular, if you're having them neat, if you're using them as a mixer or something, because this one I gotta say was not good. I did not care for this one at all. Okay. This one though, I think for 1.75 for what, 20? You say 30?
$25.
$25. I think there's a lot you could do with that. Batch cocktails, like that kind of thing.
Oh, sure.
If you're doing that for a party or whatever.
Sure.
But none of these I thought were bad. Well, I lied. This one's not very good. But these other ones, honestly, I wouldn't go out and buy them myself. Yeah. But if somebody had these on their shelf, I'd probably ask for a report.
Yeah. Yeah. And most important of all, what I'd like to know in the comments, if you can, please, for the folks that do frequent Costco and purchase Kirkland brand whiskeys, do you prefer the bourbon line or the Scotch line?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Let us
like to know. All right, guys, that's all we have for you today. Thanks so much for watching. As always, I'll get it right. As always, we ask you to please drink responsibly. See you next time right down here with Trent and me in the good old basement bourbon bar. See you later.